There's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top. So how you feeling down there? It's a cold, cruel, harsh reality. Caught, stuck here with your enemies. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows it's 20 to 1. Yeah, so you better run. You got the world on its knees. You're taking all that you please. You want more, but you get nothing from me. You like the burden we bear. You love the hate that we share. You want more, but you get nothing from me. But enemies, enemies.
What is going on, guys? This is indeed Raw Reaction live here on Spreaker.com, and of course representing the Elite Ringside Network, which you can find us on Facebook, Facebook.com/ER Network 24/7, as well as that is our Twitter handle. How convenient. I am Nate the Effin' Great, and I am doing this solo today. Main reason why is because my good co-host and friend AJ is unfortunately not able to make it today due to having lack of power, as well as it just was a crazy storm that we had last night. Wind was crazy. There's torrential downpours. Up here in Merrill, we didn't get hit that hard, but Stevens Point, I've seen pictures, I've seen videos. They got hit pretty hard. A lot of them are without power, and unfortunately AJ was one of them. Thankfully, him and Alicia, they are fine. But best of luck to you guys, and I'm hoping that you guys get your power back sooner rather than later. So yes, again, I am Nate the Effin' Great. I'm doing this solo, as I said, and talking about Monday Night Raw, which was, it felt like another typical Raw, to be fair. Started off really good, and then it kind of just had wavy moments where it's just like, well, you know, it just seemed okay, to say the least. But let's not waste any time. Let's go right into talking about Monday Night Raw. We kicked off with, boy howdy, how can you kick it off better than this? We see the one and only Brock Lesnar making his triumphant return to Monday Night Raw. The Universal Champion finally shows up, and he will probably not be back until the next show, which is Great Balls of Fire. Well, ain't that a surprise? But it's one of those moments where, again, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that way the Universal title feels like it's just something great, and it's something spectacular, and it's just supposed to be, worth watching. Paul Heyman definitely said that his client should basically feel like he is a prize fighter, like he should be somebody, like, you know, it's like Christmas every single time you see him wrestle. My issue here is that Brock Lesnar is now reaching the point where he doesn't really do that much as far as, you know, his wrestling wise, except for, you know, suplex domination. I'm hoping that they take the title belt off of Brock Lesnar sooner rather than later. I would have loved it if they would have done it. Probably, you know, if they would have had the whole Braun Strowman. If Braun Strowman was fully healthy, I would have loved for him to have taken it. I think that he could have ran with it very well. Unfortunately, due to his injuries, we had to change the plans. So we have the next best thing, honestly, being Samoa Joe. Great to see that, and we kicked it off, like I said, with Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe to get into a heated confrontation, and this was actually really good. And what made this even more impressive was the fact that during this confrontation, Kurt Angle brought out security guys. They didn't stand a chance. Kurt Angle brought out the superstars. They finally were able to break it up. Samoa Joe even got a super kick on Brock Lesnar, taking him down. This is one of those moments where it's like, oh my gosh, they're really building up Samoa Joe very well, actually. They're making him look like he is going to be a credible threat to the Universal Championship. So I am looking forward to seeing how this goes. I am hoping, like I said, that they take the belts off of him, but I highly doubt that they will. Now, that being said, one of the things that I really loved, again, this is just showing how great Paul Heyman is as, you know, as a clientele, as the guy who just talks about, you know, being one of the best talkers on Raw, is that he went out and he actually said that when he got locked in the coquina clutch and he just saw, you know, his lights just started to get dimmed, but then he also saw that bright light and almost like a voice tone to come to the tunnel, and then next thing you know, he was getting woken up by the medic team. So he is very concerned that, you know, Samoa Joe could, in fact, lock the coquina clutch on Brock Lesnar and he could choke him out. But is he going to? Hell no, he's not going to. That's basically what Paul Heyman said. And honestly, you guys, like I said, this matchup between Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe, it has been definitely a major dream match that everybody has wanted to see. And now we're finally going to get that. The only other issue is the fact that it's at a show called Great Balls of Fire. Wow. So from the guys who brought In Your House, One Night Only, One Night Stand, and so many of these other great deals, Judgment Day, Backlash, all these great names of events, they decide to rely on a song as a title of an event. Good Lord Almighty. And the fact of the matter is that it basically looks like a flaming, like I said, a flaming penis with balls. That is exactly what it looks like. And it is just very disturbing to see that, and I just cannot believe that they are just that. What are you guys doing on Raw? You were doing so well. Positive, Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. Okay, I'm fine. I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. All right, let's move on to the next part of the show. This was actually pretty interesting, to say the least, because we move on to Elias Samson coming out to the ring, and he starts singing, and god dang it all, they were doing so well with Elias Samson, and next thing you know, they just decided, hey, let's just have him sing. He is not The Rock, you guys. He's not. It just, I will admit the song was actually pretty entertaining, where it just felt like, okay, he's singing, and then he throws in like a little wrench in there where he's just basically saying, oh, hey, you know what? I forgot. I hate you guys. I thought that was actually kind of cool, but in all honesty, it just, I just don't like it. Elias Samson took on Dean Ambrose in a relatively good matchup. Miz got involved, and he cost Dean Ambrose the matchup, allowing Elias Samson to hit this swing reverse neckbreaker on him. So Elias Samson continues his winning streak, where he's beaten a jobber and Dean Ambrose twice, I will say. Okay. Elias Samson needs more guys to face off. Put him in a new, you know, just put him in another feud with somebody. Just do something with him. We actually get an early Gold Dust Shattered Dreams Productions. He just, again, creating just magic. And he talks about, you know, that people hate him because he's a bit too bizarre and he makes them feel uncomfortable. He says, nothing lasts forever unless you're made of gold. The gold age is back. Keep your friends closer, your enemies closer. This was just, again, another great promo by Goldust. And I love the fact he's going back to his roots. He's in the director's chair, and he's just doing an amazing, amazing job of just recreating that magic that made him famous once before. And I do agree with AJ that this might be the curtain call, the final farewell possibly for Goldust. I think that this could be where he's finally going to hang up his boots, put away his face paint, and call it a career. And honestly, definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I am hoping that it does not end with Goldust versus R-Truth. I would love to see, as AJ said so many different times, have Hollywood versus Shattered Dream Productions. Have The Miz versus Goldust for the Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, you could create a great matchup and a great program with these two. And it can all evolve into a championship title versus career match where Goldust agrees to put his career on the line for one more shot at the Intercontinental title. Make the title not only prestigious, but give Goldust a great final matchup. That is exactly what we need to see. All right, so we get Cedric Alexander defeating Noam Dar, and I don't get what's going on here, you guys. I know that this basically was like the feud that kind of saw, Alicia Fox going out with Noam Dar, and this was just really weird because they showed like Alicia Fox on FaceTime, even on the Titantron, where she's basically saying, "Don't hang up on me, don't hang up with me. I'm at home with a neck injury," and just blah, 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 blah. And then Cedric Alexander, after the bell rings, hits Noam Dar with his double knee backbreaker for the 1, 2, 3. It was like, what? It felt like maybe 10 seconds worth of a matchup. Come on. I mean, Noam Dar was definitely one of those guys that I looked at and I thought he's definitely going to be a great asset to the company. But now they're just making him into a joke, and they're not really even giving Cedric Alexander that much of a good run. They're not giving him anything. Honestly, I would love to see Cedric Alexander be the one who beats Neville for the Cruiserweight title. I'm hoping that's what it boils down to. It just makes sense. Cedric Alexander was one of those guys who a lot of people really loved, especially in the Cruiserweight Classic. Go check those highlights out. See how well he not only does, but the respect and the adulation that the fans had for him, especially at the end of the matchup, where we had that great moment where Cedric lost. He got a moment in the ring, and then Triple H comes up to him, hugs him, says, "Good job," and he reassures the fans, "We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it." Just, you created something great there. And it felt like it's for nothing now. You had such a great story for Cedric Alexander. Why not just use it? I don't get it. So this is actually very interesting, and I'm going to kind of give my input on this just a little bit. So Roman Reigns is going to be on Raw next week, and he's going to announce his plans for SummerSlam. So this could be one of two different scenarios. Either A, we get Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at the SummerSlam, or I could see Roman Reigns challenging John Cena. I mean, they've never faced off one-on-one. They faced off in multi-man matches, but they've never gone against each other one-on-one in a singles match. I personally would love to see John Cena versus Roman Reigns. I would keep Roman Reigns as far away from the Universal title as possible right now. Maybe have him continue being these number one contendership matches, but don't have him win. Have him stay as far away from the championship as possible right now. He's starting to get some actual really good reactions. He definitely is one of those guys who is going to be the next big star. As soon as John Cena is said and done, he is going to be the next guy. And I honestly don't have a problem with that. Roman Reigns has definitely grown on me. And I'm hoping that, fans start to accept the fact that this is what WWE wants. And, you want to boo him, great, but don't take it any further than that. Another interesting deal here, the Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins promo, where Bray Wyatt comes out and he talks about, just basically, Seth Rollins taking his name in vain, and that you should never do that. That's like saying that to God. Seth Rollins comes out and he just, Backlash is back. We're getting a Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt matchup, more than likely at Great Balls of Fire. Oh God, Great Balls of Fire. I literally every single time I hear that name, I'm just going to take a moment, take a sigh, and then move on. We're definitely going to get Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins in the near future. There we go. That actually sounds better. And I'm looking forward to it. I have never really seen Rollins and Wyatt in 1-1 matchups, so I want to see how well this goes. I think they're building it up pretty well. They're actually using Bray Wyatt well, and I'm hoping that they make Bray Wyatt look like a superstar. Make him look like he is the next generations of Undertaker. And JR agrees with my co-host AJ, and he says, you could build Bray Wyatt to be the next Undertaker. You could build him up to be something special. And I agree. Bray Wyatt is definitely one of those guys who should be known as like a special attraction. He should be one of those guys that people look at and think, wow, this is going to be an excellent, excellent person, and I want to be there for every single one of his matches. I want to be there to see what he does. Right now, so many people are just starting to fall off the bandwagon. He started off so white hot, and now he's just getting down to that sizzle, and it sucks. It really does. Apollo Crews defeated Kalisto. It just was another build-up for Akira Tozawa possibly getting into the Cruiserweight Championship match, which I don't have a problem with. I just wish that he would have done it, in a different fashion, really, instead of dealing with the Titus brand. Oh, God help me, that's just sad. Heath Slater and Rhino, they have a nice little backstage segment where they're doing cheese and crackers, and then the Miz and Maurice come, and Miz basically talks to Heath Slater, says, I want to give you opportunities. I gave you the opportunity of being in the Marine, and I want you to be there for me, to have my back against Dean Ambrose. And Heath Slater says that, he says, okay, well, I'll agree to join with you if you, basically, he wants to be Intercontinental Champion. And honestly, Slater versus The Miz, I think there could be a really good feud in there. I think that would just be awesome. Miz just basically replies saying, hey, if you join me, I will make sure that you get a title shot someday. This is actually kind of funny. Rhino basically says, he just keeps emphasizing. It's like, he's got a tag team partner. He's got a tag team partner. He's got a tag team partner. We got it. You only had to say that like one time, not like 20 times to get it through our thick skulls, apparently. But it was awesome. Because basically Rhino says, I'm going to go talk to Kurt Angle and we're going to have a little tag team match. That is if you can find a partner. And, oh boy, howdy, this is going to get interesting because wait until you hear about the tag team partner. Let's just say Smokey would be proud. Alexa Bliss comes out, and she addresses the women's division, and she addresses the fact that, hey, I could have had a great matchup with Nia Jax, but of course, Dana Brooke and Mickie James interrupted that, and they spoiled that. Nia Jax comes out, and of course, Nia just being Nia, she's just saying, like, I still want my shot, and Alexa Bliss says, hey, I want to give you a shot. I want to make this one of the greatest things that they see. She even plugs the WWE Network, basically saying, I want this to be one of those matches that people see on the network and they watch over and over again. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. You definitely do see the fear on Alexa Bliss's face. But this will also bring out Mickie James and Dana Brooks basically saying, nope, you said that this was our problem and, that they have a Nia Jax problem and that you have a Nia Jax problem. Again, pointing the finger at them. We bring out Emma. Oh my God. This was an amazing moment. I'm like, thank you, Lord. We got another woman on the roster. And honestly, it was just great to see that. And Emma's basically saying, hey, I want my shot. And then out comes the boss, Sasha Banks. Thank God she's getting back into the title picture. Dear Lord, was it too long. Sasha Banks comes out saying, it doesn't take just one lucky fluke to be a fighting champion, and that Alexa Bliss is not a fighting champion, and that she's going to show her how a boss throws a party. They basically have a nice brawl, and we come back to a 6 women's tag, basically, team face versus team heels, in which Sasha Banks picks up the victory for the team, but not before Alexa Bliss basically says, you know what, I'm done, I'm going to walk out. Emma's, of course, arguing with Bliss. Sasha Banks locks in the bank statement, and Emma has to tap out. So, very interesting to see where they're going with this. I don't know if maybe they're going to have this matchup where they have Nia Jax get her rematch, or maybe it's going to be a multi-women's matchup. I would love to see a gauntlet match come back. I think it'd be very interesting, to say the least. Maybe have a gauntlet matchup and Alexa Bliss takes on the challenger in the same night. It might be actually pretty interesting. It just would be kind of cool to see that. All right, so here was one of probably the one segment that just annoyed the hell out of me. We get an interview with Bayley. Corey Graves interviews her, talking about her Extreme Rules matchup, and Bayley just says she's not one of those people who inflicts pain on people and who bruises people up and who hurts people and, blah, 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 blah. She's more about putting smiles on faces and making everybody feel good. Bitch, really? You're going to say that? You had 2 matches with Sasha Banks, which were probably Match of the Year candidates, in which you basically almost killed each other, and you're going to say, oh, well, I don't like to inflict pain on people. I don't like to hurt people. Oh, my God. This was so stupid. It proved nothing. It just proved that Bayley is basically the female version of John Cena. Back in the day, oh my God, I hated this interview. And to make matters worse, Bayley just says, can we end this interview with a hug? Where she hugs Corey, and you look at Corey Graves' face, he's just like, oh God, what am I doing with my life? And Corey just ends it probably in the best way, just saying like, I need to go smoke a cigarette. Which honestly, I have never heard anybody mention a not a drug reference, like, cigarettes or beer or anything like that on a PG show. And and here's Corey Graves just saying, like, I'm just going to go out and have a cigarette. Probably to get all of this lovey-dovey stuff out of there. Because a lot of times when I hear the phrase, I need a cigarette, it's referred to my co-host Max Beatty, and it's just because something phenomenal has happened. There was nothing phenomenal about this moment here. It was just absolute dog crap. Oh my God, I hated this interview. It made me just, oh God. Oh my God. Raw Bayley sucks. Bottom line. I'm okay. Moving on to the entertaining tag team match, which featured Heath Slater and Rhino taking on The Miz and a bear. Specifically, the bear that was in the ring last week during the championship celebration. And just, okay, I will admit that the bear was probably one of the funniest things about the whole entire night. Just him coming in, did like a couple of backhand chops to Heath Slater, and then he's just like, you know what? No, I'm good. You're in. He just tags in The Miz, and then it eventually builds up to the bear being Dean Ambrose, which kind of actually legitimately surprised me because I looked at this bear and I thought, well, interesting, because he looked a lot taller, and I didn't think that Dean Ambrose was actually taller, but now I guess I need to second guess myself and look again at The Miz's height compared to Dean Ambrose, because he looked a lot taller, and I'm thinking, there's no way that that's Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose is not that tall. I was wrong, apparently. Dean Ambrose would actually spook The Miz, and Miz would actually bump Maurice off the apron. Maurice would just be pissed off, and she would just walk away. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of tension going on between Maurice and The Miz. She's still a little bit bitter about the fact that Miz ruined her surprise for The Miz, that grandfather clock, saying that he was timeless. One of the cheesiest, but also one of the greatest lines I could ever think about a wife to say to a husband. That was just amazing. Dean Ambrose would hit the dirty deeds, and ironically enough, Dean Ambrose has helped Heath Slater win 2 big matches and pin 2 big superstars in the WWE. He helped him beat Seth Rollins a few years ago, and now he helped him beat The Miz last night. It's funny. I think that Dean Ambrose is finding a way to make sure that Heath Slater is not getting buried. I'm totally okay with that. Could we maybe have a faction where Slater and Dean and Rhino maybe are together? I don't think they need to call it like Shield 2.0, but I think they could come up with something pretty, nifty, something pretty crafty. It could be amazing. Neville versus Swan was a no contest because Neville just decided, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to beat up Swan, lock him in the rings of Saturn, and then basically saying to Akira Tozawa, you're going to need a lot more than Titus O'Neil to take this title away from me. So, good luck with that. Then we go into, I don't know where they're going with this again. The Club getting a victory over Enzo and Cass, where Cass actually got, beaten up before the match even started, and then Cass was just saying, like, I'm fine. I may have gotten one shot from behind. But you also see Revival actually made a little bit of a cameo behind them. So there's a good chance that this is a Revival deal. And honestly, if Revival comes back with this kind of a storyline, I'd be okay with that. I think it's going to be something else, but who knows? But yet, in a losing effort, finally the club gets a win. Big Show comes out to clear the ring, and there's just like this weird deal where Big Cass thinks that Big Show is the assailant. It doesn't make sense to me because I don't think Big Show needs to have Enzo as his partner, in all fairness. I just don't understand really what's going to happen, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. Okay, the main event. The 2 out of 3 falls matchup for the tag team titles of Raw. Boy, howdy, was this a really good matchup. Probably not the best matchup that they had. I would definitely say that probably either the cage match or the match of Payback was probably the better one. Or maybe there's even one more matchup that they have coming up, which, in all honesty, spoiler alert, they're probably going to do that, because here's what happened. Early on in the matchup, Sheamus hit a bro kick on Jeff Hardy for the 3 count, giving them the first fall. Matt Hardy would come back by hitting Cesaro with the Twist of Fate. And we see also that, I'm trying to remember here. Basically, it ends up with a brawl where all 4 guys are out in the ringside, and they're basically saying, boom, boom, okay, 10 count, that's it. So Sheamus and Cesaro retain, and the Hardy Boys are definitely going to be getting a rematch in the near future. What kind of a rematch would it be? Well, that's a good question, actually, because they've already been a part of a ladder match, they've already done a cage match, they've done a regular wrestling matchup. Maybe if Matt and Jeff can get fine-tuned, and maybe if they get more, what's the phrase I'm looking for? More fit, I guess you could say. Their endurance can go up. Maybe they can have like an Iron Man match for the tag team titles. I think that would actually be kind of cool. I would kind of like to see that, in all honesty. Let's make it happen. Let's have Matt and Jeff just get a little more of a workout. Just do 30 minutes, just the 2 of those teams. Just going crazy at the future date show that I refuse to even mention anymore. I will not talk about that name. I am banning that name from my dictionary, in all honesty, you guys. It just is horrible. I am not going to talk about it. I'm just not. That's all I'm going to say. So, Raw, in all honesty, was pretty good. It had more downs than ups this week. I thought the main event was good. I thought that the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar confrontation was amazing. The Dean Ambrose being the bear thing was kind of predictable, but at the same time it was kind of funny. It wasn't like he was talking or anything like that. But we'll see what happens. So Raw, in all honesty, I think that we lost for this week. So here's actually some very interesting news that I want to actually address. So I get a lot of my info from 24wrestling.com. And I just read this article, which is entitled Backstage Update on Braun Strowman's WWE Raw Return by Scott Lazara, I think that is his name. So here's basically what it's going to say. Alright, so Scott says, and I quote, Braun Strowman has been cleared to return to action, according to PW Insider. Word going around at last night's Raw was that Strowman was cleared a week ago. He will be back on Raw as soon as creative comes up with a plan for his return. Strowman underwent elbow surgery in mid-May to fix some issues he'd been dealing with. WWE reported that Braun would be out of action for up to 6 months, but it was speculated that the lengthy absence was announced just to set up a superhuman comeback ahead of schedule. It will be interesting to see how WWE brings Braun Strowman back, as he's still in a feud with Roman Reigns. Braun has stated that he's not done with Roman yet. As noted, Roman will be on next week's Raw to announce his SummerSlam plans. So, in all honesty, we could be getting Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns as the final chapter for at SummerSlam. That'd be interesting. As far as what they would do, I would love to see the two of them fight in a last man standing match. I think that that's the only way that you can cap off this amazing, amazing feud. You definitely need to do it like that. Make it a match that's very brutal, very physical. Last man standing match is the way to go. You can't do it any better than that. So, I think that's all that we have for Monday Night Raw. As far as SmackDown Live goes, I will say this, that John Cena is advertised to make his return to WWE on the July 4th edition of SmackDown Live. Apparently, he is also going to be billed as a free agent, so he'll be able to go from Raw to SmackDown, everything in between. Okay, I guess that's cool, but I think that SmackDown definitely needs something to help keep their ratings up, and bringing back John Cena is probably going to be the best thing that they can do right now. As much as I don't like Cena, he definitely has a way to not only bring up the ratings, but also keep people interested in what he is doing. So we'll have to see what happens. So that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Raw Reaction. Hopefully tonight, Smack Talk returns. I really don't know what's going on, you guys. I know that for the last few weeks they have been MIA. I know that Max has been busy with doing vacations and stuff like that. Spencer, I don't know what's going on with him. But I'm hoping that tonight they are back, because there's a lot of SmackDown that needs to be covered. Especially with Money in the Bank this Sunday. Tomorrow, you guys, will be the return of Change the F Up. I had to deal with a couple of personal issues, and my mentality was just out of it. So, fortunately, I couldn't do it last week. So, this week we will be coming back. And as far as what we'll be talking about this week, we did advertise for the Wonder Woman review, where Victory Bell will give her thoughts on Wonder Woman mainly. That still seems to be the plan, but we may go in a different direction. You never know. I mean, as the title insinuates, change the F up. Basically, it's always changing. You never know. On Thursday, I will be giving my predictions for the Money in the Bank event that is happening this Sunday, due to the fact that I will be attending a wedding in the family. So I have a busy weekend ahead of me. Friday and Saturday, I cannot do anything. I'm more focused on that. But Sunday, I will be here for Money in the Bank. Spencer and I, we talked about doing a live reaction show. If he does not do a live reaction show, I will be more than willing to do my own live reactions for the show on Sunday for the Money in the Bank show, because it is a big deal. We've been making it into a big deal. I mean, basically what's going down is that the loser will be doing the Blazing Challenge at Buffalo Wild Wings in the future. The winner will walk away with the belt. And for me, also, if I do not come out victorious this Sunday, I've agreed, and Spencer has also agreed to the terms that I will never challenge for the title again. So, a lot going down that is happening this weekend, as well as Sunday, you guys. It is going to be absolutely insane. I want to close the show by checking out if we have any questions, any comments. Doesn't look like there is. Okay. But you know what? That's totally fine. I just needed to double check on that just to be sure. So thank you guys so much. And oh my gosh, I cannot forget about this. Next month in July, I gotta start promoting this. ACW will be at the Tanner's Bar in Oshkosh, July 22nd. Main event, of course, being Sadis versus Ken Anderson, Mr. Anderson, for the ACW Heavyweight Championship. That is a matchup that you just cannot miss. Also, some more information about Stadium Mania. Tickets are not available for purchase yet. From what I've been told, they will actually be set up, and they will actually be available for purchase the beginning of July. So if you're hoping to get tickets, you guys, wait until the beginning of July. I will have all the details on the day that they are available, so that way you guys don't have any confusions as to why it's only this much, because, but like I said, I've been told this, and there's some very special packagings that are probably going to be going through. I've been told there's possibly going to be some a meet and greet before the show where we get a chance to meet up with Hacksaw Jim Duggan and such. Just a lot that's going to be going on. This is Stadium Mania. This is Wisconsin Pro Wrestling's biggest show of the year. And guys, you cannot miss out on this. It is going to be absolutely, can't miss. I mean, so many of the matches, the triple threat match for the WPW title, Logan Lynch versus Sadis, the Titletown Championships, the Tag Team Championships, so much going on. Joey Avalon versus Ben McCoy in a last man standing matchup. This is going to be a can't miss show, and you can guarantee, you can bet your ass that I'm going to be doing a review on that. So thank you guys so much for joining me here for Raw Reaction. I have been Nate the Effing Great. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Nate Effing Great. And thank you guys so much for your time, and we will see you guys later. So for Elite Ringside Network, have a good one, you guys.
There's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top, so how you feeling down there?